Welcome to the Aboriginal channel. This episode, we're going to be getting some visual and written word confirmation of the true physical description of the American Aboriginal. And to do that, I'm going to use three books, two from the 1800s and one put together recently that has images in it from the 15 and 1600s. But we're going to start right here with the book An Inquiry into the Distinctive Characteristics of the Aboriginal Race of America by Samuel G. Morton, 1844. Well, we'll start off by saying that Samuel Morton was a cranium specialist. And he says right here that I have had opportunity to compare nearly 400 crania derived from tribes inhabiting almost every region of both Americas and have been astonished to find how the preceding characters in greater or lesser degree pervade them all. This remark is equally applicable to the ancient and modern nations of our continent, for the oldest skulls from the Peruvian cemeteries, the tombs of Mexico, and the mounds of our own country are of the same type as the heads of the most savage existing tribes. Then over in this book called The Antiquities of Tennessee and the Adjacent States and the State of Aboriginal Society and the Scale of Civilization Represented by Them, a series of historical and ethnological studies by Gates P. Thurston, 1897, says right here in the commentary that among all other inhabitants of America, there is such a striking similitude in the form of their bodies, the qualities of their minds, and that notwithstanding the diversities occasioned by the influence of climate or unequal progress and improvement, we must pronounce them to be descendants from one source. That's from Robert's History of America on page 69. Then Humboldt says the Aborigines of Mexico, out of which its civilization was developed, resembled those of Canada, Florida, Peru, and Brazil, and that they evidently descended from the same stock or stocks. And that's in a book called New Spain from 1808, page 105. Also in this book right here, they make a comparison to Europe, Asia, Africa, and America right here when they're talking about something, which takes me back over here to Sam Morton's book, An Inquiry into the Distinctive Characteristics of the Aboriginal Race. And it talks about basically how good the American Aboriginal was at sea. And it goes through and it talks about how good the Caucasian was, how good the Mongolian was right here. Then it says the Negro, whose observant and imitative powers enable him to acquire with ease the details of seamanship, readily becomes a mariner but rarely a commander, and history is silent on the nautical prowess of his race. Far behind all these is the man of America. So right here we're seeing a separation between the Negro, which is the African when it's being used right here, and the American, which is separate from the Negro, right? Just like in this book, it talked about the Europe, Asia, Africa, and America. So let's go back in this book, though, to the physical description. It says it cannot be questioned that physical diversities do occur, equally singular and inexplicable as seen in different shades of color, varying from a fair tint to a complexion almost black. And this too under circumstances of which climate can have little or no influence. So also in reference to stature, the differences are remarkable in entire tribes, which moreover are geographically proximate to each other. These facts, however, are mere exceptions to a general rule and do not alter the peculiar physiognomy of the Indian, which is as undeviatingly characteristic as that of the Negro. So right here in this book, it said that the Indian is undeviatingly characteristic as that of the Negro. So basically, the man of America and the man of Africa are undeviatingly characteristic to one another, which moves me over to my last book where it's going to be showing us some old artwork, some drawings, some paintings inside of churches in the country of Germany. It says North American Aboriginal Society, One Nation, Many Tribes. The information in this book has been compiled and translated by the North American Aboriginal Society of Canada for educational purposes only. Now, remember, in Canada, says that the Aborigines of Mexico, out of which its civilization was developed, resembled those of Canada, Florida, Peru, and Brazil. And that, believe it or not, represents the entire Western Hemisphere, because you can't get to Canada from Mexico, or you can't get to Mexico from Canada without going through what is called North America or the United States. But going back over here, it says the North American Aboriginal Society is a fraternity of brothers and sisters from North America, Turtle Island, who gather, translate, and compile old books, artwork, literature, iconography, etc. Everything that has been documented throughout the world regarding the true history of Aboriginal peoples of America, or what some might call the American Indian. We are a non-profit organization formed solely on uplifting, reuniting, and re-educating descendants of the American Indian Aboriginal about their true lineage. This place is called Benedict Bruin. It's a monastery in Germany. And right here we have this image right here. It says from left to right, Europe, America, Africa, Asia. So this guy is from Europe. This person is from America. This person's from Africa. And this is Asia. See, America right here. This is America right here with the bow and the arrows. This is Europe or Africa, and then Asia. Got America up here and Africa down here. Undeviatingly characteristic. See, Africa right here. America. Now look, Africa's lighter skin and America's darker skin in this image. That means they undeviatingly characteristic. America, look. Africa. This one of these is America. One of them's, I would say this is America. This is Africa, Asia, and Europe, it says right here. I believe that's America with the alligator. They always show Africa with an elephant, but I could be wrong. This is America with the bow, arrows, and the plumaces that's hanging over. From left to right, Asia, Europe, Africa, America. So Asia, Europe, Africa, America, right here, America. This one is America, Europe, Asia, Africa. It looks like what it is, an American right there, right here. And the African right here. Europe, America, Africa, Asia. So that's what that was. Europe, America, Africa, Asia. America back here. Europe, Africa, Asia. America, Africa. Undeviatingly characteristic. Asia and Europe. Africa, Europe, Asia, America. I see it, the American and the African, undeviatingly characteristic. The last one is Africa, Europe, Asia, and America. Africa, Europe, Asia, and America. America right up here. Through the history books, which has all been a lie. So therefore, if it's a lie, then what's the truth? If it's a lie, then what's the truth?